Hey everybody, I am walking down the Bluff Road with the dogs one last time before we leave Missouri. Kind of sad to leave because we have a lot of freedom here, off-leash freedom. So I leave tomorrow morning early, like probably 4:30 or 5 in the morning to head to Oklahoma City. It's about a 6-hour drive, just under, from here. And sorry, I'm looking behind me because I'm watching for cars. It doesn't happen often here, but it does happen. So trying to pay attention so that I can get the dogs off the road. Anyway, someone commented on a YouTube post recently and asked if I could share basically some tips or some wisdom about photography. I've taken workshops and stuff, but like I don't have a degree in it, right? I have a doctorate in music, and by that point I was really burnt out. I chose not to go back to school for photography. To me, it's not about the photo. It's not about getting the shot. That's not why I'm out there. That's not why I do it. It's expression for me. I often say in my writing that it's a way for me to basically express my gratitude for the places that heal me, that give me peace, and that I've grown up in, and that I'm fortunate enough to backpack in and spend a lot of time in. It's my way of expressing my gratitude for those places, and also of trying to encourage others not only to get outside and experience those places themselves, but in whatever means that, in whatever way that takes shape for them. But for others to also be very conscientious about how they're being outside, and picking up your trash and trying to keep these places for future generations. I'm not out there to be a photographer. If I didn't have to make money, to pay back student loan debt or to pay the bills, whatever, put gas in the van, I don't know for certain if I would still do photography. I just don't know. I might, because like I said, it is a form of expression for me. My style has changed over the years. I did a lot of conceptual photography. Like a decade ago or so, I was doing a lot of conceptual work, layering things, composite work in Photoshop, and that served a need for me for a while, and so that's what I did. Now I've sort of come full circle back to my childhood and how I grew up, where I just want to be outside. I just want to be in nature, and so the camera is really there to help me express my love for the outdoors. So long story short, I don't talk about photography a lot on this channel because it's not about the technique for me. It's not about how to make a photograph, how to make a good photograph, how to get the shot. It's not about any of that for me. For me, it's about being out there, and that maybe means that I'm not really a photographer. I don't know. We get really tied into these identifying labels, and I just don't think they're necessary. So I don't know that I'm a photographer. I do call myself one. I guess I put that in my bio, but that's not like an identity that I cling to. I definitely just want to be outside. Anyway, most of the wilderness photos that I do make while backpacking. So I'm out there on multiple day trips in remote wilderness a lot of the time. So a long way from civilization, carrying everything I need on my back. The dogs are with me usually, unless they're not allowed. Typically I don't go places where the dogs aren't allowed to be with me. I don't go places where it's really busy. For me, it's about being out there. That's all I can really say. When something really moves me, it doesn't even have to be beautiful. I have a lot of images that probably will never sell at shows because they aren't spectacular. They're just nature. But to me, that is spectacular. A lot of the times I make pictures after a storm or after something significant has happened that will stick with me, that I want to remember, or that I photograph it because it's a story that maybe I'm the only one who will know, but it matters to me. So And what's cool about the stories is, even if I'm the only one who knows what the photo is about, and that's true with any photo, right? Really, truly, the only person who knows why it was made was the photographer, the person who made it. But when other people look at that photo, it can mean anything. And that's important. It doesn't, the real meaning, there is no real meaning. The real meaning is whatever a viewer wants to make out of it and get out of it. So, I feel like I'm just blabbing. I don't know if any of this is useful. I just feel like if you want to make good images, you've got to just go out there and experience it. You've got to see it. And that's one reason why I like backpacking too, is because you don't miss much when you are on foot and you're walking for miles and miles and miles, and you're setting up a tent and you're sleeping outside, and you are completely immersed in nature. And gosh, that's an experience that I think I never realized how rare I think it is. I'm not sure as many people as I thought actually get out and experience that. When I was growing up, I thought that was just normal. I thought that was just what people did. And then I went to college and I realized, particularly for my career path, I realized how few people grew up the way I did and spent a lot of time outdoors doing the things that I did. So I found out that it's not as common as generally across the board as I thought it was. I think that if you really want to make good images, that you really have to get out there, put yourself into situations you want to experience, situations you want to photograph. And I can also say from experience that you don't have to be, it helps, but you don't have to be in this overly gorgeous landscape to make good photos. This was a point of frustration for me for a long time, just learning to connect with a landscape that I really had no connection with. I didn't feel connected to West Texas at all, but I went out. I went to the canyons. I went everywhere I could and tried to make a connection. And I feel like, it's never going to be like the connection I have with forests and water and mountains. But I do feel like I came away with some really good photos from West Texas. And that's because I tried. I got out there and I put forth the effort. So I think that even if you don't like where you are, or you think that it's ugly or just not photogenic, there are lots of things and reasons why people don't go out with a camera. I think you just have to work past that. I think at least give yourself the chance, give the landscape a chance. Every landscape has something unique and beautiful about it, even if you aren't familiar with it. So I feel like wherever you are, whether you like it or not, just push yourself to go out and see, to really notice things, and just make some images. They don't have to be good. Make some images, bring them home and edit them, work on them in whatever software you like. Lightroom is probably one of the most common ones, but yeah, for me, it's not about the photographs. I am very fortunate that I can make some money off the photographs that I make from when I go out backpacking and things like that. I do try to go out and do some photo trips with the sole purpose of making images to bring to art shows and things. But generally speaking, I just want to be out there. So I don't know if that's helpful to anyone. Let me know if you'd like me to talk more about this kind of thing. Years ago, like over a decade ago or so, I led a photo walk for military veterans and civilian allies called Engage the Light. And the whole purpose was to learn how to express ourselves with the camera. And so we would go out and walk and make images, and then come back and talk about them, talk about why we felt compelled to make the image. I would also give prompts. I would post a poem or a word and we would go out and make photos based on that poem, what we felt when we read the poem, and try to match an image to that feeling. Things like that. So I don't know if this helps anyone or not. For those interested, I have added, I'm trying this out, I'm experimenting. I've never used the chat feature in Patreon before, but for my Patreon subscribers, I have started kind of a virtual photo walk, and I'm gonna try to model that after the Engage the Light photo walk that I did a decade ago or so, where eventually I will give a prompt and everyone can go out and make an image based on that prompt, share their favorite one to the chat, and we can talk about it. So not necessarily from a technical standpoint, though that's not completely out of the question, but mostly from an expressive standpoint, like why did you make it? What feeling were you trying to express? What concept were you trying to express? And do others see that in the image as well? Or do they see something else that maybe the maker didn't see? So yeah, if you're interested in that, you actually can participate. I think you have to be a paid subscriber to participate in the chat, and no, this is not a ploy to get you to sign up and pay, but if you want to, there is a tier as low as $1 a month. So if that interests you, you can consider it. If not, and you want to hear more about the photography, the way I think of photography, nature photography, then let me know in the comments of this video, and maybe I can do a little more to talk about that. This is what I do to make a living, but yet the reason I do it is not to make a living. It's to live, I guess. It's kind of corny, but it's true. Like, I just want to be out there. Camera is my way to help tell stories about it. You know, when I come home and I write about it, I'm working on a book of the Colorado Trail, and the photos help me remember stories and complement my stories when I write as well. So anyway, I don't know if that's helpful to anybody, but it's hot and the dogs need water and I need water, so we're gonna head back to the house now. Let me know if this is helpful at all. Maybe I'll go ahead and upload this, and maybe this will be this week's video, because I leave tomorrow and this weekend is the art festival, so I may not have time to do another video. Anyway, I hope this is helpful. Let me know if it is or not, and we'll see you on the next video.